Hello, welcome to another episode of Tommy's Trains. Today I've got a special treat for you, and I'm just going to move this other train set over to give me some space. Today we've got a brand new HO train set, and I'm going to share this with you. This is the HO item number 00626 Chattanooga set. Very cool. And last time I was there, it was a hotel with a convention center, and I spent some time with the Tennessee Air National Guard guys down there, and girls. So here's the Chattanooga Choo Choo, and we're going to open this up. One of the things I think is cool about this set, and you don't see this hardly at all ever anymore, is that the set has some interesting things that you don't typically get anymore, like a station, a bascule bridge, some signs, telephone poles, and people. So, the people are kind of a write-off. There's just like this, I'll show you. But to get some buildings and some accessories with the train set are very uncommon, but very cool and very nostalgic for me because when I was a kid growing up, all the train sets came with something for the most part. I mean, unless you got the very basic 1999 set, they had something. So we'll go ahead and open this up. So one thing I'm going to do with this set today is we're going to go over it. We're going to run it, and I'm going to show you how to make it better. So I'm not just going to sit here and poke fun at it and tell you everything that's wrong with it. We're going to correct it today and make this train something that you're going to want to have. So the artwork's pretty good. People complain about the artwork, but it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Some of the train sets, you can't read some of the writing in places, and I don't know who their quality control inspector was, and I don't care. But this set here in particular is a good one. I really like the old boxes that had a lift off. Like you had a dedicated bottom and a top that it just made it so much easier to put stuff away instead of sliding it in. And everybody seems to want to do that now. So here's your Bachmann suburban station. And this has been, I can't even remember, probably from the 50s is when they first started making this in. So very cool. A couple of people with it, all the parts, your instructions. So very nice to have and see in a train set, a building. Here's your bascule bridge, signal bridge, whatever you want to call it. These are very delicate. So if you're doing this with little kids, you're gonna want to probably give them a hand. But this is one of those things you're probably gonna want to glue it together. They're flimsy, but once you place it, they're fine. But if you start moving it around, my experience has been glue it. So quite a few road signs, and yeah, they're all yellow, but you can paint them. It's not a big deal to paint them. At least you have them. Something that you don't see much in trains anymore. 2 packages of telephone poles, and again, if you want these more realistic, you just paint them. Actually, 3 packages of telephone poles. So we're pretty thick on accessories with this set. And here's a ton of people. They're all basically the same. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 10, 20, 30, 40 or so people. But, if you just start putting them in random places around your layout, who cares? So neat to see that there's some other parts, and, you can run it like this, but to make this more exciting, I would definitely paint the pieces and parts. So I'm not going to take this track out. I don't need to. This is the steel track, and I don't hate it, but it's not nickel silver. So I've already got this oval set up from something else we were doing. So I'm not going to tear it down and build it back up. But what I did mention in the other video is they only come usually with like two straight sections. One of them is the terminal rerailer, and then you get your controller. But the set came with like 6 or 8 of them. So as they have progressed towards the future, they seem to be offering smaller and smaller track layouts. I don't hate the steel track, but it's not nickel silver. So this has a really strong tendency to rust because it's steel, whereas this is nickel silver and it's an alloy. So it gets dirty, but it really doesn't rust. So if you have this is what you have, and just run it for as long as you can, and maybe upgrade it or just keep it clean. So we're not even going to take that apart. Here's our instruction and inventory sheet. 3 bags of telephone poles, 2 bags of street signs, 4 bags of people, a signal bridge, a station, instructions, contents, and let's get to the train. So here's our train set. Bachmann has had this 060 locomotive in some form or another for a long time. And I remember probably around 1987 or 86, I had saved and saved and saved. And I finally went to Woolworths, and it was like 40 or 50 bucks, $47 or something, if I remember right. And I bought this 060. It was a Santa Fe, just said AT&SF on the tender. And right out of the box, it didn't move. Like, you could hear the motor running and you could hear something grinding, and sometimes it would jerk, but no matter what, I took it all apart. I tried to clean it to no avail. So hopefully that's not the case with this one. I'd be very upset if there was something wrong with this right out of the box, but they used to come with smoke, and this one does. Regardless, 060 has been around in some shape or form for a long time. So the Dixie line, NC and S at North Carolina and St. Louis. Is that what that is? I'd have to look it up because that's not a familiar road name to me. C and STL, the Dixie line. So those of you who are from Dixie, NC and STL, I mean, I'll look it up and I'll pop it up here in a second, but I haven't seen that one before. So here's our tender. This has got some weight to it. It's good heavy tender. You got your Easy Mate coupler on the back and plastic wheels, plastic trucks, but they turn well. So I don't really have a problem with this. Here's our 50-foot reefer. Frisco, St. Louis, and San Francisco. Ship it on the Frisco. It's got heft to it, like the Silver Series cars. I mean, it's got weight, so we wouldn't need to add weight to this one. This is much better than that Durango and Silverton set. Those cars were so light. This one feels good. But we have the plastic wheels and trucks on it. So it's, the plastic wheels and trucks aren't as big of a deal if the car has some weight to it because it's going to track better. The problem with the plastic trucks is they dirty the track. Let's see, Norfolk and Weston 4-bay hopper with a coal load, and you can get some flat black and dull this up a little bit and put some graffiti on this, and it's not a bad car. It's got some weight to it because it's got the good couplers, but we could make this car better. Penn Salt, again, good weight to it. Plastic with the Easy Mate couplers. It's got the wire on it, so these are not terrible cars. These are not terrible. This has really got some heft to it. I'm very happy with this feeling of this train. There's no window glazing and there's not any detail. So if I was going to come out and say, do I have a problem with this? I would say no. However, there's room for improvement. You could fix this. That's not a big deal. You just take the top off and put some window glazing in there, and you could put some figures. So you could make this car better too. But right out of the box, with those holes without window glazing, that's the only thing I would say is wrong with this car. But overall, I don't have a problem with it. So this train set came with the little chintzy controller, and I'm not even going to take this out. In fact, I'm going to put this track and controller on eBay so fast that'll make your head spin because I don't want it. But this is what they've devolved to, is this little controller with only one accessory, not even an accessory port. You've got one port for the track, and if you want to have accessories, you need another controller. You can't shut it off, and so they've really taken a turn from about 20 years ago when you could have got the Spectrum controller, which is really heavy direction control, and you have an accessory port and you have an on-off switch. So they've lost something there. There's our smoke fluid right there. Let's put a little bit of smoke fluid in this thing and smoke her up. Don't go crazy with the smoke fluid, just a couple drops. So we'll go ahead and put this locomotive on. The thing about 060s is they're really easy to put on the track. You want to really get people in a tizzy? Put your tender down like that and take a picture of it. They'll freak. Sometimes you can see the smoke, but it's not a heavy smoker. It's not like the Lionels where you're going to just see the smoke rolling out. It's very subtle. So I'll slow-mo the camera here in a second. I can smell it, but it's really subtle. The trains don't couple very well in corners. So, when you get these passing sidings, it's just basically a double oval. It's really hard to dump cars and put them back on. Let's give it a whirl. Everything seems to be tracking well. Now, if I was going to have much of a bigger layout than this, I would get two of these, and I would put another rerailer on the other side with another feed bus. You can get the terminal joiners with the feeds on it, but this works too. And if you're going to do this way, just make sure that you are connecting the right side. Otherwise, you'll flip it, and your polarity will be reversed. And I like these older wires where you had two ring terminals on there or fork terminals, and then I would just peel this apart. And so I'm pretty happy with this train. You know, again, a controller has a lot to do with the performance of your locomotive. So these little ones don't have a lot of power. You start to get into this, you're in more power and better control. To me, the MRC, like the Tech 4s or even the old Tech 2s, those were the top shelf. Those were the controllers that gave you the most juice and the best control of your locomotives. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good train, and I don't see any response until I'm up to around 25, 20 here. I've got some juice. It's creeping at 15. So, at 10, I don't even have the light bulb's not on at 10. At 15, it's creeping. So what's the longevity of this? Well, the jury's out. This is a pretty new set. It's only been out a little bit of maybe a couple of years. And because of the weight of these cars, I can go backwards pretty well. I'm really impressed with this train. So I think other than your power supply and the steel track, this Chattanooga set is it's okay. I think it's okay. The cars get some good weight to it. You got some decent accessories. I would recommend this train set. This is decent, and I think if you just got some good track, and to me, the single most important factor you can consider when you want to make your train run better is your power supply. Those power supplies that come with the basic trains now, they're throwaways. I don't like them. I hate them. I would not even take it out of the box and plug it in because I just don't like them. But I mean, if that's what you got, that's what you got to start with, right? So I'm not going to tell you to throw it out. I'm just saying I already have some better transformers. So yeah, when you've driven a Mercedes Benz and you got to go back to your old Chevy Citation, you're like, ugh. So that's the only comparison I've got. But this is a good train. So I'll bring you over here. We'll take a closer look at this, and we're going to upgrade one of these cars so you can see what you need to do to make this car as good as you can for not a lot of money. It's not a bad box. It's decent. Everything's legible. Nothing is typed over anywhere. Artwork is decent, and to get all these accessories with a starter set now is like so uncommon. I don't even know of another train set that comes with accessories like this. The Digital Commander has a siding and a uncoupler and a brakeman, which that's the only set I know of now that even comes with a siding. So the Easy Make couplers, they're okay. They're either good or they're bad right out of the box. I mean, that's typical of everything, right? So there's a little spring, and a lot of times these won't latch right. Sometimes they just come uncoupled. If you start running into troubles, throw it out and buy yourself some Cadies. Here's your oval. It's okay. It's okay. On the back, here's some different ovals and different sets you can make, track layouts, and each one just tells you what you need to buy. It tells you what comes with the set and what additional things you need to buy. So what we're going to do here is quickly take this Frisco car and we're going to put some metal wheels on it. So hang on a minute, and we're going to take care of that. So Intermountain makes some good wheels. Also, you can get a card of the Bachmann ones, or Bachmann, whatever they want to call them. I call them Bachmann. Just be careful because there's 33 and 36s. If you put the wrong one on, your coupler is not going to line up right. So you want to be careful of that. But these metal wheels, they have some weight to them, and they will track better. And I'm going to show you how simple it is to add these wheels to this train. There's a lot of different things you can do to take it out. You can just pop it out, but you get this micro mark tool right here, and you just dip it in. So when you squeeze it like that, it separates, and then these little wheels will pop out. So we'll grab one out of our pile here. You can get the Bachmann, you can get the whole truck if you want. You can get the whole thing. But these are okay because you see the screw? That's almost the Silver Series. I'm okay with this train set. So I want to make sure my new wheels are the same. You don't even need to use the micro mark to put this back in. You don't really need it to take them out, but it's helpful. And you just pop it in, and we'll do another one here. don't ask me how much this tool costs. I don't remember. It's not. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is now. I wouldn't even guess. I take these plastic ones, and to be honest with you, I just when I put some trains on eBay for sale, I just throw it in the box of free stuff. Here's some extra stuff because I'm not going to use them. Maybe somebody else needs them. And when you put make sure you spin it with your fingers. Make sure everything's going right. Now I want to show you one more thing while we're still here. So a lot of people, and I do it when I remember, is you take the wheel out and then you put just a little bit of lubricant in there. So you got a couple different lubricants. This is a Lionel sewing machine lubricant, and I don't know that I would put this on the plastic. I don't think this and plastic are going to go well together. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you want to put this with the plastic. So what you want is this Katie Greasem. It's just graphite. You just put a little puff in there. If you pop the truck, I'm really excited these came with the screws because some of them don't, and it's really difficult. See, even the coupling boxes have screws, and it's really difficult to fix these. It's not impossible because you can do it, but when this car is already like prepared, and then if you've already got the thing off, you don't need the tool because it just comes off. So here's two more wheels, and let's make sure they're the same. Here's our truck. So we're just gonna put a little bit of grease in there. I don't know if you saw that come out or not. And do the other side. Some of it's going to fall out, sure, but it's not all going to come out. And we'll just put these back in. And our other one. We'll put our truck back on. See, this sits right in this little post. This is sweet. So let me just put this in here. And you don't want to crank this down. You just want to snug it again because you want that to turn and be free to move. Now, if this car didn't weigh enough, I would get these stick-on wheel weights, and you can get them on Amazon or at the VIP or whatever. They just are the ones you stick on like a car wheel when they balance it, and you can add weight. So I think the NMRA has like probably someplace you can go and find out what the cars are supposed to weigh. I personally am not that picky. I just want it to feel like it's got some heft to it, and then whatever. But the NMRA people I'm pretty sure, will tell you what these cars are supposed to weigh. So our Locomotive, 7-year, 8-year-old kid with adult supervision. This whole front pilot is plastic. It's got some good detailing on it. If you drop this, I can see this whole thing breaking off. Your bell, your whistle, all your little parts and pieces, the extra components. I think this train's actually pretty decent. You got your grab irons here. They don't have anybody in there, but it's medium detailed inside. Your drivers, your wheels. This is fine. I don't have a problem with it. Here's your tender, and it's got some weight to it, but I would for sure change these wheels out. Our Frisco car that we just fixed. This is a good car now. We've got good couplers, good wheels. It's been lubricated. It's got good weight to it. The graphics are good. That's a good car. Here's our hopper. With these plastic wheels, you can fix it, but the weight's fine, and you've already got the couplers. You're already a step ahead when you got the screws and the coupling boxes that you can unscrew. You're already halfway there. You're 3/4 of the way there, because some of these old cars, they didn't have this on there, and it was just you just pulled the horn hook coupler out and you put it back in. So in order to fix that, you had to take an X-Acto knife and cut all that off and put shims in and put a coupling box on, and it was doable. It was kind of fun to do them, but you don't have to with this. And again, you get your screws. The weight's fine. Graphics are good. With some graffiti on that and some weathering. That's not a bad car. And the caboose, like I told you, this is a good caboose. It's got good graphics. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But the trucks could be fixed. I think the thing that sticks out to me about this caboose the most is the windows. It looks like an abandoned building. If they had just put some glazing in there, which you can do, like I said, you can just unhook this and pop this cover off, get in there, and you can put some glazing in yourself. Maybe put a couple of people in there so you can see them in the background, or glue a guy on the back. You got tons of people that came with this set, so you're already there. The details on this are pretty good. I don't have a problem with it. It's like I said, the only thing that sticks out to me is that there's no windows. So our Chattanooga choo-choo today, I think I would recommend this train set. I think this is a good a good set. I think there's a couple things you can do to make it better, but I think overall it's probably top tier for Bachmann. It's the best you're going to get. The track, work with it as long as you can. Try to get some nickel silver, maybe some other kind of track. I only have the gray bed easy track. I've got a ton of it, and I don't have troubles with it. It's fine. I don't have any issues with it at all. And you can glue it down. It's fine. It really easy track. It's the nickel silver. I can't. I just can't. There's nothing wrong with it in my mind. It works okay. The best thing you can do is get some kind of an upgraded transformer, and with some steel wheels on those trains or some metal wheels. I think you're gonna be happy with it, and then some sidings, and you've got all these parts and pieces. And let's take a look at the accessories real quick. So taking a look at this, I mean, this is a giant stack of accessories that came with this train set. There's three bags of telephone poles, which is huge. Here's your station. There's nothing wrong with this station. I've had a couple over the years, and I like them. A little bit of weathering, and it snaps together. I would recommend some glue, but it'll be okay without it. 2 bags of signs, and again, if you paint them, you'll be there. The signal bridge, it's as good as you're going to get for HO scale. So be careful with it. It's fragile. I would definitely glue it together. And then you've got 3 bags of people, so about 30-ish people. And one of my sons loves to paint people. So if you have patience and good eyesight or like to paint, you can get that in good shape too. So I appreciate you watching today, and the Chattanooga Choo Choo I think is a win. I think it's a good train. Recommend it. Again, I've made some suggestions what you can do to make it better, but so far the best Bachmann train starter set that I've come across has been this one. But stay tuned because I've got more. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend it with me, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.